All right, y'all. So we're back with another video. It's called Flash. Season 6 is utter garbage, but it's by Chev Talks. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Y'all already know how the Flash be. If y'all have already seen my other reactions, y'all already know. Y'all already know how I feel about the Flash. You know what I'm saying? But make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and if you can't think of nothing to comment, just comment fire emojis and comment twice because it helps me in the algorithm. But all right, let's just go ahead and hop right into it. Oh shit! Just give it a second, y'all. Hold up, it's lagging a little bit. Just hold on a second. Just a second. Just a second. There we go. Flash season 6 is utter garbage. Okay, so I ain't gonna lie. I don't think I've seen season 6. I know I've seen season 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it don't matter, but just the point I'm making is that I don't know if I'll know everything that happened and that he's going to talk about. But that's all.
A year ago, I put out a video about The Flash, the show that got me into the Arrowverse, and which gave me a chance to more greatly appreciate DC Comics as a whole. Not saying I didn't like characters like Batman, but without this show, I probably never would have watched Gotham or Smallville, both of which I thought were amazing shows that deserve way more credit.
Wait, what is Smallville? I think I know what Gotham is, that show Gotham. I've seen a little bit of it, but...
The video was more about how the show, which I had once considered my favorite show on at the time, had seriously dropped in quality. Everything after season 2 was absolutely
what?
garbage. I wouldn't force even my worst enemy to sit and endure that mess. Don't bother watching that video. It's not really well done. I'm not proud of it, and I'm not even gonna link it or put up a card or anything. Here are the highlights so I can save you all 30 minutes of your life. The Flash seasons 1 and 2
I understand that though. He said that video was so trash, I just don't even want y'all to see it. I'm just, look.
They had
and I feel that, y'all. Look, I'm still working on it though.
They had good storylines, and they were so goddamn enjoyable that I can still sit down and watch any episode of the first 2 seasons. I said that in my last Flash video, and I still mean it. These seasons are pretty good. The show took a turn for the worse with season 3, and although I thought seasons 4 and 5 were a slight improvement, they still really weren't that good. But I did say...
I was about to say,
I would watch season 6,
if I remember correctly, it wasn't,
which I had hoped would turn this sinking ship around. After season 5, I heard the show was coming under new leadership, and Eric Wallace, the guy running the show now, seemed to know what he was talking about. I'm definitely no DC Comics whiz, but coming from other people who actually know what they're talking about, the show was in good hands. And I really, really thought this season would be better. I had hoped,
I don't know why you even would think, okay, he said better, he didn't say they would fix everything, but just still, how much better would you actually expect the shit to be though? But I mean, I could be wrong. I haven't seen all of the Flash, but still,
like 1 and 2 levels of good. So now that the whole season's out, what did I think of it? Did it live up to what I was hoping for? Was it as good as the show during its glory days? No, but then again, that was a long shot to begin with.
Who did that?
But was it at the very least better than the last 3 seasons have been? Yes. It was. I'm happy to say that this show was miles better this year than it has been in a long time.
It was better.
But it still wasn't that good. As I was watching the season finale, I thought to myself, maybe it's not really fair to judge this season. It had to be cut short to 19 episodes as opposed to the standard 23 because of the thing that that's going on in this world, so the season didn't get to wrap itself up the way the showrunners would have liked to. But then I looked back at the last 5 season finales and realized that even if this season had been allowed to run its course, it still would have ended with a major cliffhanger and a lot of threads left open. That's the way of things on television these days. Gotta keep them coming for more, and if that means never having any type of conclusion to give the characters and the audience a chance to breathe, then so be it. I will say though, even though this episode wasn't intended to be the season finale, it actually did a pretty good job as one anyway. It had a pretty intense final battle with all the heroes involved, except Killer Frost. She's not allowed to have any stake in the plot anymore, but we'll get to that.
Bro, I fucking hated what they did with Killer Frost. Like, what the hell? Like, I don't know what they doing with her now, if the show's still even going, but what the fuck?
It had all of the many plot lines of the season merge into one, and it even had somewhat of a proper ending. They even brought Joe out of witness protection. Unfortunately, there was no Skybeam, which we were all hoping to see, but I guess I'll settle for what we got. In all seriousness, I'm sure elements of this episode were rewritten and structured into a haphazard finale, and they probably even cut some stuff together that was meant to be in the actual finale and placed it into this episode. I'm not really sure how they did it, but but I'm actually pretty impressed with how they managed to make it work. I also really liked Barry and Iris this season. I'm not really that big on ships, and the brutal character assassination that Iris has been receiving the last several years has made me
Look, okay, so he's saying that he likes Barry and Iris in this, so I'm assuming they improved a lot more, like they made them. Okay,
quietly
so
root against her just a little
sorry,
bit.
I'm locked in, y'all. I know I'm not talking as much or reacting as much, but I am paying attention.
If I'm being honest.
No, don't do this. Don't do this.
Now, finally, I am free of you.
Yes, good. Kill her. Do it.
Kill.
Do it, you coward!
But the characterization she gets this season is great, and it makes her dynamic with Barry so much better. The scene where they're talking to each other through the mirror is one of my favorite scenes on the show, and is the only time throughout this entire season where I felt anything other than bitter emptiness inside. But that's all the praise I can really give this season, because the rest of it is dog shit. If there's one term I would use to describe this season, it would be too much. There's just way too much happening, too many plot lines intersecting that honestly, it was overwhelming. It was common for multiple episodes this season, especially in the latter half, to just completely shift focus from whatever was happening in the last episode. In one episode, you'll have Iris getting trapped in the mirror dimension,
Whoa, what the fuck?
and then in the next...
Wait, what was that?
Last episode. In one episode, you'll have Iris...
Wait, okay, I think I remember what that is. That was the niggas that had the powers to manipulate mirrors or something? Maybe that's something else. Because that looked like some Silver Surfer ass shit, but I don't know.
Mirror dimension, and then in the next, Ralph is trying to find Sue Dearborn, and then in the next, there's an arbitrary meta for the week that Cisco has been hunting. Oh, now the...
Oh yeah, I definitely didn't see this. What is this
from? And then in the next, there's an arbitrary
for the
week that...
She's shooting just green energy orbs, radiation orbs or some shit.
Hunting. Oh, now the Speed Force is dying. Okay. Reverse Flash is back? Again? The first villain we see this season is an evil speedster called Godspeed, and I know this guy is a big deal in the comics, but for the average guy like me, I didn't know much about him. We saw him in one episode last season, and he was defeated and existed in an entirely different timeline that's now been erased, so... I know I said in my other video that I was tired of speedster villain after speedster villain, but after the last 2 seasons we got, I think it was high time we got a change of pace. And yes, that was the first of many speed-related puns I'll be sprinkling in throughout this video. I would have liked if Godspeed could have been the villain this season. The first half of Season 6 was devoted to trying to stop Crisis.
Listen for him, y'all. I'm going to be counting with him.
Infinite Earths, which, by the way, I actually liked a lot. I like the idea of every show on the Arrowverse focused on this same problem at the same time, because this event was supposed to be a pretty big deal. I liked Crisis, and I liked that the first half of the season was focused heavily on that, but in that case, I don't think the episodes before Crisis really had any room for an overarching villain. The one we got, Bloodwork, played by the ever-so-charismatic Senthil Ramamurthy, felt entirely out of place. He would have made an interesting villain later on, but it just felt like Team Flash had bigger fish to fry at the time. I said all that to say that if they had made Godspeed the villain for Season 6 after Crisis, it would have worked a lot better. We could have kept having those Godspeed clones show up like the one we see in the first episode, but the real deal wouldn't make an appearance until the latter half. Have Godspeed be the main focus of the second half, finish off the Sue Dearborn plotline because that was introduced at the end of Season 5, and you can pick and choose one of the multitude of other plotlines from this convoluted season if you really think there needs to be more, but I think we have enough with just that. I actually didn't hate the Black Hole vs. Mirror Master Volume 2 plot, which was basically the overarching antagonistic force throughout the entire back half of the season, and I especially appreciate the attempts to give Iris something to do, because there has not been even one season after the first one.
I mean, yeah, because like, what the fuck does she even do anymore at this point, other than just be a nuisance and getting away?
Have attempted that for her. If they wanted to have that be sort of the B plot, I would have much preferred that, but I really think they should have had Godspeed be the main focus, and lose the whole Reverse Flash side story they threw in all half-assed, because that was seriously a joke. I'm not the biggest fan.
See, I didn't know they had a... I don't know about that, yo. I don't know about that. Like, just, I know, I guess, like, I heard them earlier, they brought the Reverse Flash back and shit, which is kind of lame. It feels like they're bringing Frieza back again in Dragon Ball Z. Ooh, they killed him. But when's he coming back again? Like, damn.
Either. I'm getting
but really I don't know.
Tired of there being a new Wells every fucking season. It was kind of charming at first, but at this point, just pick a Wells and stick with him. Nash is honestly one of the most annoying characters.
Wait, did he say what I think he said? Is he talking about how there was so many different clones of him or different versions of him? I missed it. Sorry, I wasn't listening. Sorry.
Fucking season. It was kind of charming at either. I'm getting really tired of there being a new Wells every fucking season.
Okay, nah, facts, bro. Because what the fuck? That shit was just so lazy. That's just such lazy writing.
It was kind of charming at first, but at this point, just pick a Wells and stick with him. Nash is honestly one of the most annoying characters to me, and the fact that he's what they used to connect Eobard Thawne to the world of the living is seriously the stupidest shit I've seen in a long time. This show is seriously so desperate to keep him alive that at this point he's literally just a ghost. He's a ghost that tries to possess Nash's body. And the explanation they give is that they're both Harrison Wells, so since every other version of Harrison Wells was killed in Crisis, they're all just around to haunt Nash. What? First of all, that makes it even more insulting because...
See, but I ain't gonna lie, that sounds exactly like something that the fucking Flash would do. Like, damn, just not making no fucking sense for real, inconsistent, etc.
Not only do they keep sticking us with a new version of Wells every year, but now literally all of them are dead, and the only one we have left is this fucking turd. Also, did the writers just forget that Eobard Thawne is not actually Harrison Wells? It's really felt like they forgot about it in the past, but the fact that they're trying to say that Nash and Thawne are both connected because they're doppelgangers makes me think the showrunners actually forgot that they're not, and that really pisses me off. Oh, and Nash also apparently knows the new girl Allegra because she's the doppelganger of a girl he mentored on a different Earth named Maya, but he got her killed out of recklessness, and now he's trying to use her as his second chance with Maya, and it's just so weird. He's a complete stranger to her, yet he's acting like he's her father, and that makes me really uncomfortable. The whole situation is extremely off-putting to me, and I just don't understand why we needed this. There are so many plot lines this season. Another subplot I really
hate when shows do that shit too. I hate when shows do that shit too. Little tiny subplots on the side that don't really matter that much, but they be focusing on it so much, bro. Don't even get me started. Oh my god.
Because I'm sure by now we've reached that many, is the death of the Speed Force. So apparently during Crisis, when Oliver, as Spectre or whatever, went into the Speed Force to give Barry a pathway to the multiverse, it infected the Speed Force because Oliver has the corona. The Spectre is an alien to the Speed Force's immune system, and it didn't know how to combat the infection, so it just fucking died.
Wait.
Sorry, what?
Oh, wait.
It just fucking Speed Force's immune system, and it didn't know how to combat the infection, so it just fucking died.
What the fuck? That don't even make sense, actually.
I wasn't aware that the Speed Force had an immune system. You'd think a cosmic entity wouldn't be limited to such earthly effects. Would that be like if I sneezed and killed gravity? Second, was this not all part of the plan? Was it not their destinies as Paragons and as the Spectre to save the multiverse from Crisis? How were they supposed to get back to the multiverse without Oliver taking them through the Speed Force, which they establish is the only way to get out of the vanishing point? If that's the case, then was the Speed Force always supposed to die? I would think it would know about all these events and have some way of preventing this from happening. Maybe in the original ending of this season, Barry was
But that's so stupid though. Like, what virus or infection did the fucking Speed Force have, huh? Which maybe he said the name of it, but like, it don't even matter what the name of it is. Like, huh? How the fuck does the Speed Force get sick? It just be stupid shit. They just. Who's the writer of this show? I looked it up one time, but I forgot the nigga's name, bro. I'm about to beat his ass.
Create the Speed Force or something and get his speed back, thus allowing for it to still exist but still have died. I honestly feel like I'm giving the writers way too much credit here, but I have no way of knowing what they intended to do, so I can't say they didn't. Still though, this is yet another plotline that could easily have been cut, because we basically already got it, but way better. In Season 2, Barry lost his speed to Zoom and had to learn how to fight crime without it. There was trial and error, but Barry learned that even without his speed, he was still a hero, and he could still do a lot of good. Then, of course, he got it back, because the show was called The Flash, and because, let's be honest, he had no shot of actually defeating Zoom without it, but still.
Because the show was called The Flash.
If this is the same lesson Barry was supposed to be learning, again, because from what I saw, that's exactly what it looked like. He was going to have to come to grips with the fact that he's running on borrowed time, and that eventually he's going to have to figure out how to save the city without
That was a speed pun, really, bro. Here, let me move this real quick. I don't know if y'all see the speed pun counter, but I'm going to play it before I move it. You said none of it makes sense. Nah, you feel me, Sonny D?
It's a good lesson, but I don't need to see Barry learn it again. I do like that by the end of the season, Barry's problem isn't magically fixed thanks to plot convenience. He's still running out of speed, and it's only a matter of time before it's all gone. It's a nice, lasting consequence, and this show doesn't do those often. Again, though, I know I'm giving the show way more credit than it deserves, because had they been allowed to do the 23 episodes, I'm sure Barry would have gotten his speed back wrapped up in a nice...
Oh my god, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, at least it didn't switch the video. Where was we? We was on like right here. My bad, y'all. I was trying to pause the video
Earth
and
One
then play it
Caitlyn
again just to.
has
It don't
powers
matter.
too, which actually used to make sense.
Fuck, where
A
was
matter of
we?
time before X, but that'd be like
Okay, I
if I
saw
sneezed
this.
and
I'm sorry, y'all.
back thus
Fuck.
here. Plotline. Barry learned that even without him,
Okay, we
the
were
show
like,
was. But still, lesson saw. That's exactly what it. We're gonna have to figure out how to save the city. By the end of the season, Barry's problem isn't
all right.
and that eventually he's gonna have to figure out how to save the city without his powers. It's a good lesson, but I don't need to see Barry learn it again. I do like that by the end of the season, Barry's problem isn't magically fixed thanks to plot convenience. He's still running out of speed, and it's only a matter of time before it's all gone. It's a nice, lasting consequence, and this show doesn't do those often. Again, though, I know I'm giving the show way more credit than it deserves because.
All right, no, I feel that. I fuck with that. But I mean, they don't. Again, like what he was about to say before I cut him off. You know, giving them way more credit than they deserve for real, for real. Okay, ooh, you one time, good job, but you're like in the negative. You know, you get some points for that, but like you still in the negative points. Like it don't, you feel me? You still got a long way to go. So like, good job, I guess, but like we need more.
Because had they been allowed to do the 23 episodes, I'm sure Barry would have gotten his speed back, wrapped up in a nice little bow, and he would have stopped the baddie. So whatever, I'll give it a half praise because it was forced to write something interesting. Now, if there's one thing on the show that I really don't like, it's Killer Frost plotlines. I can't stand them, and you might remember.
Oh my god, I fucking hate it too. And I haven't even watched the whole show, but that shit, don't even get me started on that. What up, C Mac? Welcome back, gang. You said so I could hear you on Crunk Master, but not KrunkJeezy. For real? Dead ass? Hold up. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Oops. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Huh, I hear myself on my own stream, but I don't know. I don't know, C Mac. Hopefully that's just you and not me, but hopefully you figure that out. I don't know. That would suck though if I upload this video and don't nobody hear me. I would unalive myself in GTA the video game.
Here in the video when I said Killer Frost isn't allowed to have a stake in the plot anymore? Well, now I'm going to explain exactly what I mean by that. If you watched my other Flash video, then you know already that I really don't like Killer Frost. They keep bringing back new plot lines.
No, I haven't seen. What video is he talking about? I didn't see a Flash season 5 is garbage or nothing like that, because this is season 6 is garbage, as y'all can see at the top left. Because I went and made a playlist of shit to react to, as y'all saw a little bit earlier if you was watching the stream. I would have added, I don't know what video he talking about.
And each one less interesting than the last, and anytime it's the focus of one singular episode, I find myself either bored to tears or just downright angry watching it. And the whole timeline of this character really confuses me. First, Caitlyn from Earth 2 is Killer Frost, while Earth 1 Caitlyn shows no signs of having powers at all. Then, after Flashpoint, that somehow rewrites all this, and now Earth 1 Caitlyn has powers too, which actually used to make sense. It just meant that when Barry changed the timeline, Caitlyn was affected by the particle accelerator explosion, unlike in the previous timeline. It made perfect sense until season 5 came along and decided that she wasn't actually a metahuman and that her powers have just been there all along, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. Then,
what? They did that in the writing, bro. See that? It's, oh my god. Make up your fucking mind. Her powers have been there all along. So then what? What the fuck then? How? Her mama was the fucking Frost Queen or some shit, and so she inherited her powers from, nigga, what the fuck? No, don't even start. No, this is gonna. I kind of don't even want to react to this because it's gonna piss me off, bro.
And she loses those powers.
This show get on my fucking nerves sometimes. Like, damn.
In season 4, and I thought, oh, thanks, sweet baby Jesus, we're finally done with this shit. But it can never just be that easy, because Caitlyn not really being a metahuman after all means that DeVoe couldn't take away her powers. Frost just kind of hit herself.
Which is just even more inconsistent on top of the inconsistency that's already inconsistent. That's wild.
Because she was afraid, I guess. But season 5 and now season 6 are really where this character gets the brunt of it. In season 5, her not being a metahuman could have actually been a really interesting concept to explore.
Damn, that nigga's dead. Hold up.
Season 5, her not being a metahuman could have
damn, bro. I know. I be crying. I know his head, his neck hurt, his back.
Been a really interesting concept to explore. With the main villain of the season being able to negate the powers of other metas, this is where she really had time to shine because Cicada's dagger didn't affect her at all. But she's hardly even used. They have a few wasted episodes with her finding out who her father really is, but nothing else actually comes of Frost being brought back. They don't use her to defeat Cicada, so why bother making this a plotline at all? I don't understand why it's so hard for these guys to write for this character. Season 6 isn't nearly as bad, but it just personally...
More like for all the
At
characters.
this point, I'm so tired of this character. I was willing to accept that she was back and that we hadn't seen the last of her, but I was really hoping they would put her on the back burner this season, and maybe even give Caitlyn an interest.
I'm not gonna lie, what the fuck? And look at her looking like she really... Look, the way he fall through this window.
Hoping they would put her on the back burner this season, and maybe even give Caitlyn...
That's crazy.
An interesting arc that didn't involve her deviant...
Sorry, I'm drunk.
His other half. And instead they did the exact opposite. The first episode into this season, Caitlyn realizes that Frost is just as much a person as she is, and considers that maybe she wants a chance at the win.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Or at least, because was that in season 6? Because then does that mean I watched some of season 6? Or was that from something else? Because I just remember her acknowledging the Frost, not the Frost, but her other side of her. I remember her acknowledging it and like trying to get cool with her and shit like that, so that they're not as, you know, so that they're more compliant with each other, I guess. But I don't know.
So she lets Frost take...
Also, it looked like she went Super Saiyan. This is her Super Saiyan form right here, y'all. Look.
First episode into this season, Caitlyn realizes that Frost is just as much a Frost take control, and she just kind of chills in the passenger seat. The thing is, I actually like Caitlyn. She's remained one of my favorite characters throughout the show. I seriously miss the days when she was just Caitlyn, and not this weird Dr. Jekyll to Frost's Mr. Hyde. I miss the days when this show was good, but then Frost just doesn't really do anything. She takes up Ralph as a life coach, which... Yikes. And
what the
that's
fuck?
a thing they do for a couple episodes
as a life
before
coach.
Ultimately dropping it. No more development for her character at all. She's not even active during the finale. She's literally bedridden. So, apparently... Danielle Panabaker had to leave the show and effectively drop any potential there was for Killer Frost this season because she was pregnant, which I didn't know before starting this video. So I can forgive the fact that they sort of had to drop her story so she could go have her baby. Their hands were kind of tied with a lot of things this season. Still though, just because they have an excuse for why it's bad doesn't make it any less bad. I don't like Killer Frost, she's even less interesting to me when she's not evil, and I wish they would stop butchering classic characters. Speaking of which, there's one character that I've yet to talk about, and this one really annoys me. This character probably should have left the show a long time ago, but the showrunners knew this would have turned a lot of fans away from the show, so they kept him. The character I'm talking about is Cisco Ramon. At the start of this show, Cisco was my favorite character. He was funny, witty, and had such an optimistic presence that really lightened the mood. He was also a huge nerd who loves movies, and I'm a huge nerd who loves movies, so I connected with this character on a personal level. But I would say that around the same time this show started being bad, so did Cisco's character. And I didn't want to admit it at the time because without Cisco, this show really wouldn't feel right. Without him, and especially without his dynamic with every new Wells, it just wouldn't be that fun to watch. It's kind of like Styles and Derek from Teen Wolf. Both are good characters separately, but when you put them together, they still...
Wait, I still need to watch Teen Wolf though. Should we watch that on stream? Goofy ass death. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
The show
Bro, should we watch that,
y'all? Take one of them
y'all?
away, and it's a serious loss because you lose a great character and you lose that dynamic. But take both of them, and it just doesn't feel like the same show. And that's why the later seasons of Teen Wolf are vastly inferior. Styles and Derek both left, and we were overcrowded with a cast of newcomers each season that represented empty shells of who they initially replaced. Actually, that kind of sounds a lot like another show I've been ranting about for almost 15 minutes now. At the beginning of season 3, Cisco became pretty unlikable, although I don't really mind it here very much. He just recently lost his brother, and he found out that it's all Barry's fault. I'd be pissed too, and you know what? I don't think I would have ever really gotten over it. But Cisco does, in time, and then he's still a dick. Starting off season 5 was when I really noticed a shift in his character, and I think a lot of it is due to the actor who plays him, Carlos Valdez, because I don't think Carlos really wants to keep playing
Of course his name is fucking Carlos. Sorry, that's racist.
Cisco anymore. I think he's ready to end his run on the show, but the showrunners just keep milking him. When Cisco gave up his powers at the end of season 5, I thought he was leaving the show for good. I was sad to see him go, but I also understood that Carlos was ready to move on to other things, and they ended his story in a way that was believable and felt satisfying.
So they like ended his story in season 6. Like they tried to make it where he was moving on and shit, but like what, they changed his mind or something? I know he's about to explain it, but just because I don't think I've watched season 6. I'm pretty sure I ain't watched it, but still. Shut up, Sunny D. It ain't funny. I wasn't trying to be racist. Just sometimes it comes out of me. I try, I'm not that racist. Like it could be worse. Oh.
To other things, and they ended his story in a way that was believable and felt satisfying. But then he was just still on the show. Everything here is garbage!
Nigga, alright, Sunny D, chill, bro, chill. Nigga go put tacos in the chat. It said tacos sound good right now. No, they really do, bro. And I could get some, Sonny D. So don't encourage that. I'm trying to save money. You feel me? You can't be getting takeout. I'll be trying to eat at home and cook at home, bro. I can't be. Shut up, nigga. I don't got no ingredients to make tacos either.
His
So
powers
just don't even talk about it.
He doesn't really help out with Team Flash that much, assuming
No,
he's
no
even there
tacos.
at all, since half the time he's off exploring the world post-crisis. Which, again, just feels like a way to write him off for several episodes at a time, and I'm wondering why they don't just let him leave the show. I'm pretty sure most actors sign contracts for the first 6 seasons, so I hope now that this one's over, he doesn't have to keep doing this anymore. He was a once great character, but I'm ready for him to go, and I think it's better this way. I know they already filmed most of the next
so he's so I wonder what it's like in season 7 and 8, because y'all saw I wonder what that's like. Is he gone or did they keep him?
Supposed to be season 6 episode 20, but will now be season 7 episode 1, and Cisco will be in it, but hopefully after that they can write him out of it and that poor soul doesn't have to keep pretending to care for
so he said he'll be in season 7, but what about season 8? Because I know there's a season 8, but I don't know if there's a season 9, 10, or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't, I'm not that deep into it. I just got tired of the Flash, and so I stopped watching it, y'all. I'm sorry. I might watch it with y'all on stream or something.
Didn't even realize this until I was editing this part of the video, but Cisco's not even in the season 6 finale. His fucking girlfriend is trapped in the mirror dimension, and he can't even be bothered to show up for it because he's so unimportant to the plot. The final thing about this season that really bugs me is the repercussions of Crisis. I enjoyed the crossover itself, save for the insufferable
repercussions of Crisis,
but I don't like what came of the multiverse after all was said and done. This feels very reminiscent of Flashpoint back in season 3. Anytime something didn't add up or the writers wanted to get out of a corner they'd previously backed themselves into, they could just use Flashpoint. Barry changed the timeline, so now Ralph Dibny didn't die in the particle accelerator explosion.
I heard a lot of people that.
I hate that stupid ass writing too, bro. Like I understand, like, cause people make mistakes. Well, you said fixed it. It was me. I wasn't using the BBW sounds. I'm up now. Hey, go ahead, bro. Go ahead and use the sounds that you need to use. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. But what was I about to say? Just no, I just hate that lazy ass writing. I understand people make mistakes. Maybe you forgot you wrote some shit, whatever. But like, it's one thing if you make a mistake, but it's another thing if you make a mistake 1,000 times, my nigga. They keep doing the same shit. They keep making the same mistakes over and over. So I'm just like, are y'all not taking notes? Are y'all not paying attention? Or do y'all just not care? I don't know what's worse. Them not giving a fuck and they just writing whatever because they know people gonna watch it. Or they really think they write some real cold shit and they just, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of like a scary movie that's actually trying to be scary, but it's not. So it's funny. It's just fun to make fun of it. Like, come on now, this shit ain't scary. But versus a scary movie where it's like satire or something, where it's like, okay, this shit ain't scary, but the movie know it ain't scary. It's just being funny. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, like, do they really think they writing a good story? They're not writing a good story at all. It's trash. The characters be trash. Like, there's some good moments. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I watched it a little bit. Clearly, I like something about it. If I watched more than season 1, like what was it, like season 4 or 5? I stopped at. But either way, I'm done ranting about it, y'all. My fault.
People?
Well, you said bad and lazy writing is just that be invested, not be up their own ass writing what they want to write. Oh, okay. Yeah, facts. Real talk, C-Mac.
Even know their names.
Ralph Dibny.
Sorry, hold up.
Barry changed the timeline, so now Ralph Dibny didn't die in the particle accelerator explosion.
I heard a lot of people that night.
People? You don't even know their names.
Ralph Dibny.
Now there's a new universe they all live in, where Flash and Supergirl are on the same Earth, and there are a bunch of differences. Pied Piper is mad at Team Flash for some inexplicable reason. We'll blame Crisis. Want to do the same villain, but with a different name and origin story? Crisis. Tired of the same old multiverse that you've invested a lot of time and care into? Rewrite it with Crisis. Harry and Jer's Mirror Master. I don't zoom.
What the fuck? Wait, what was that water thing? What was that? I don't even know.
Speed Force died. It's pretty apparent when the writers want to just rush into things without thinking them through first when they try to fix plot holes with even bigger plot holes. And as Wade Wilson would say, chimichangas. I probably will watch season 7 because this season wasn't nearly as bad as the last few have been. And I know I harped on season 6 for having too many plot lines, but with the several months they have now to plan for the next season, I hope they use that time to come up with good ways to utilize them properly. Either way though, good or bad, I am not gonna make another video about this show. It's actually kind of funny. I remember when
wait, what?
For the most part,
I mean, that's obviously a fucking lie because y'all, you know, I saw other reactions, season 7 and 8. You feel me? Like we didn't watch it yet, but I'm just saying, like I got it in my reaction playlist. It's coming up next, actually. So that nigga's lying. He's a liar. We're not subscribing or liking the video. We're disliking it because he's a liar.
It was the general consensus that while Marvel had easily bested DC on the cinematic front, DC had better shows. Then, of course, Daredevil came along and just blew anything the CW could muster up completely out of the water. And ever since then, it seems like these shows have seriously gone downhill. I think I said in my last video that the only Arrowverse show I was actively enjoying at this point was Legends of Tomorrow. Well, I haven't even bothered watching season 5, and that's been out since January. These shows have always been bogged down by CW campiness, but that's honestly not a good excuse. There are some amazing shows on the CW that have all the same hallway scene-esque drama as the rest of them, and yet they make it feel natural. They don't force it, they actually try to give you something of substance. The Flash was once my favorite show. It used to have substance too, but now it's just a shell of its former self, and that's truly a shame. Thanks for watching. It felt really good to get all that off my chest.
I mean, look, bro, I like the Flash, you know, a little bit or whatever, but I'm not gonna act like the shit is not inconsistent. It just is what it is. But hey, W video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, comment twice because it helps me in the algorithm. And if you can't think of another comment, just comment anything, my nigga. You feel me? And if you didn't like the video, then just dislike the video and leave. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.